Tonight, there is nowhere else you need to be. Not somewhere brighter, not somewhere better, not somewhere waiting for a different version of you. Just here, just this quiet night, just this small cabin by the lake, just this moment, asking nothing from you at all. You arrive slowly. The path to the cabin is dim, but easy to follow, a soft line of weathered wood and stone, the kind of path that does not hurry anyone, the kind that seems to understand tired feet. Above you, the sky is deep and dark, but gentle, not empty, not heavy, just wide enough to hold the silence. The lake nearby rests under that dark sky, like a piece of still glass. You cannot see every detail of it from here, only a faint silver shape between the trees, only the quiet sense that it is there, waiting, breathing softly beside the land. The air is cool on your skin, fresh, clean. It brushes past you with a calm touch, carrying the scent of pine, old wood, and a little trace of water. Nothing in this place asks you to explain yourself. Nothing asks where you've been. Nothing asks what kind of day it was. And that feels good. The cabin stands ahead, with one warm window glowing through the dark. A low amber light, steady, still. It does not shine to impress anyone. It simply glows, quietly, as if it has been waiting a long time, knowing that sooner or later you would return. You step onto the porch. The boards give a soft sound beneath your feet, a familiar sound, a gentle sound, not loud enough to break the silence, only enough to remind you that you are here now, that you have arrived. Your hand reaches for the door. The handle is cool for a moment. Then the door opens easily, with no resistance at all, as if the cabin has already made room for you. Inside, warmth meets you first, not a sudden burst of heat, just a gradual welcome, a low, steady warmth from the fire, already burning in the stone hearth. The room is simple, wooden walls, a soft chair near the fireplace, a woven blanket folded over one arm, a small lamp glowing on a side table, a kettle resting quietly in the kitchen corner, everything in its place, everything untroubled. You step inside and close the door behind you, and with that soft click, something begins to loosen, not all at once, not in a dramatic way, just a little, as if the world outside can remain outside for a while, as if the long day, with all its voices and movements and unfinished thoughts, no longer needs to follow you in here. You stand for a moment without doing anything, and that moment is enough. The fire crackles softly, not loudly, not sharply, just a low, comforting sound, like the room speaking under its breath. Beyond the windows, the lake touches the shore in small, repeating motions. A quiet hush, then another, water and fire, cool darkness outside, warm light inside, and somehow, between those two gentle sounds, your breathing begins to settle on its own. You do not need to force a deep breath. You do not need to sit a certain way. You do not need to try to relax. You can simply be here. That is enough for tonight. Maybe you set down a bag. Maybe you slip off your shoes. Maybe you let your hands rest at your sides for the first time all day without needing them to hold anything. The body notices these things. The shoulders lower a little. The forehead smooths. The jaw softens. Not because you made it happen, only because this place feels like somewhere you no longer have to keep carrying the day. The firelight moves along the walls in slow patterns. Gold, amber, soft brown, nothing bright, Nothing sharp. The room is not silent in an empty way. It is full of small, peaceful sounds. The breathing of the fire, the whisper of the lake, the faint settling of old wood, the hush of night around the cabin. Everything here seems to understand rest. You walk a little farther into the room. There is a chair near the hearth, deep and quiet and worn in the best way. The kind of chair that does not ask you to sit properly. It only invites you to sink in. And maybe very slowly you do. You lower yourself into the chair. You feel the warmth of the fire reach your hands, your chest, your knees. You feel the support beneath you, steady, unmoving, certain you do not have to be useful right now. You do not have to solve anything tonight. You do not have to look ahead or look back. The night has already taken care of that distance for you. All you have to do is stay here, in this little cabin beside the lake, in this warm circle of firelight, in this hour that belongs to no one else. Outside, the water continues its soft rhythm against the shore. Inside, the fire continues its quiet glow. And somewhere between those two sounds, your thoughts begin to drift farther up. More space between them, more softness, less effort. You are here. You are safe. Nothing is required of you now. The cabin holds the warmth. The lake holds the silence. And the night, gentle and wide around you, asks only one thing, that you rest. You're already sitting here now. The fire is steady. The room is quiet. And nothing is asking anything from you. So there is nothing you need to do. Nothing to reach for. Nothing to improve. Just this. If you notice your breath, you can let it be exactly as it is. No need to make it deeper. No need to control it. Just noticing is enough. A breath comes in, softly, and then it leaves, just as gently. The fire continues its quiet rhythm. A small crackle, a slow shift of wood, a soft glow, rising and falling. And, without trying, your breathing begins to follow that same gentle pattern, not forced, just matching. You may notice your shoulders. Maybe they have been holding something you didn't even realize. And now they can drop just a little, not all the way, just a little. Your hands can rest. No need to hold anything. No need to prepare for anything. Just resting. Where they fall, your jaw softens. Your tongue rests quietly. Even your eyes can feel heavier now. No effort needed. The warmth from the fire reaches you slowly. It doesn't rush. It doesn't overwhelm. It simply stays, steady and patient, and your body begins to understand that it is allowed to slow down. Outside, the lake continues its soft, repeating sound. Water touching the shore, and pulling away, and returning again. Always the same, always gentle. There is something comforting about that rhythm. It doesn't need to change. It doesn't need to become anything else. It simply continues, and you can rest. Inside that, another breath comes in. You don't need to think about it, and as it leaves, you might notice something loosening again. Maybe a thought, maybe a feeling, maybe something small that no longer needs to stay. You don't have to name it. You don't have to understand it. You can just let it drift, like a small ripple moving across the surface of the lake, and then fading. Nothing needs to be held tonight. Not tightly, not carefully. Everything can sit a little more loosely. If your mind brings something up, a memory, a plan, a question, that's okay. You don't have to push it away, but you also don't have to follow it. You can let it pass, the same way the water moves along the shore. It arrives, it touches lightly, and then it goes. Your breath continues, in and out, slow, easy. The fire continues, soft, light, gentle movement. The lake continues, a quiet hush, then another. And between these simple, steady things, your body begins to feel heavier, not in a difficult way, in a comfortable way, like settling. Your back sinks a little deeper into the chair. Your arms rest more fully. Your legs grow still. There is no need to adjust, no need to find a better position. This moment is already enough. You may begin to notice small spaces of quiet between your thoughts, tiny pauses where nothing is happening, where nothing needs to happen. Those spaces can grow naturally, without effort, and inside those spaces there is rest. The night outside remains calm. The cabin holds its warmth. The fire does not hurry. The water does not change. And you don't need to change either. Not tonight. Another breath comes and goes. A little slower now. A little softer. Everything is beginning to settle into place, exactly where it needs to be. And you are allowed to follow that same quiet movement. Downward, inward, softening. There is nowhere else you need to be. Still true, even now. Even more now, just here, just breathing, just resting. You're still here, nothing has changed, and yet something has softened. The fire continues its quiet glow. The lake continues its gentle rhythm, and your body has begun to settle more deeply into this moment. There is no need to check anything, no need to think about how relaxed you are. You can simply notice how little effort is needed now. Your breathing is slower, not forced, just naturally slowing. Each breath arriving a little more quietly, each breath leaving a little more completely. You may begin to feel a gentle heaviness in your shoulders, in your arms, in your legs. Not heavy in a way that weighs you down. Heavy in a way that lets you rest, like your body no longer needs to hold itself up so carefully, like something underneath you is already doing that for you. The chair supports you, the floor supports the chair, the cabin holds everything in place. You don't need to carry yourself tonight. The warmth from the fire spreads slowly across your hands, up your arms, into your chest. A quiet warmth, even, steady. It doesn't ask anything. It just stays. Outside, the lake continues. Soft water touching the shore, pulling away, returning again. A rhythm so simple, your mind no longer needs to follow it. It's just there, and the more it repeats, the less you think about it, the more it becomes part of the background. The same with the fire, the same with your breath. Everything is moving, but nothing is asking for your attention. Your eyes may feel heavier now, even if they are open. They may want to close, slowly, gently, and if they close, there is no darkness to worry about. Only softness, only rest. Behind your eyes, there is space, quiet space, not empty in a lonely way, empty in a peaceful way. Thoughts may still come, but they arrive more slowly now, and they leave more easily. You don't need to hold on to them. You don't need to finish them. You don't need to understand them. They can drift like something carried across the surface of the lake, appearing, then fading without effort. Your body continues to soften. Your shoulders sink a little more. Your arms feel heavier, your hands still. Your chest rises and falls, smooth, unhurried. Your legs rest fully now. No tension, no holding, just resting. Even the small muscles, the ones you don't usually notice, are beginning to let go. Your forehead smooths, your eyes rest, your jaw softens again. Nothing needs to be adjusted. Nothing needs to be corrected. This is what it feels like to not hold anything. The cabin remains quiet around you. The fire, steady. The lake, patient. The night, wide and still. And you are held inside all of it. There is no edge to this moment. No sharpness. No urgency. Just a slow, continuous softening. If a thought appears, you can let it pass. If a feeling appears, you can let it soften. Nothing needs to stay. Nothing needs to be pushed away. Everything is allowed to move on its own. Your breathing is slower now, quieter. Your body is heavier now, softer. Your mind is quieter now, wider. And you don't need to notice any of it. It can all happen without you trying. The warmth continues, the quiet continues, the stillness continues, and you continue to rest, deeper now than before. There is nothing ahead you need to reach, nothing behind you that matters right now, just this steady, gentle place, just this quiet night in the cabin, just this feeling of being held without effort. You don't need to move. You don't need to open your eyes. Everything you need is already here. The fire continues its slow, quiet rhythm, a soft glow, a gentle shift, light moving across the room without ever asking to be noticed. The lake outside remains just as calm, water touching the shore, then slipping away again and again, and somewhere between these two quiet sounds, something begins to change. Not quickly, not all at once, just a soft drifting. The room around you starts to feel a little different, not in a way you need to understand, just a feeling, like the edges of things are becoming softer, less defined. The chair still holds you, the warmth still surrounds you, but the space begins to feel wider, as if the cabin is no longer just a room, as if it is something more open, something that doesn't need walls. You don't need to follow that thought. You can simply let it happen. The firelight flickers gently, and for a moment it feels like it's breathing, slowly, in and out, the same rhythm as the lake, the same rhythm as your breath. Everything is beginning to move together now, without effort, without direction. The night outside drifts closer, not physically, but in feeling, the quiet of the lake, the stillness of the trees, the softness of the sky. All of it feels nearer now, as if the distance between inside and outside is no longer important. You are still in the cabin, and yet you are also near the water, near the trees, near the open night. No need to choose one or the other. You can be in both. The air feels softer, warmer, and cooler at the same time, balanced. And in that balance, your mind begins to loosen even more. Thoughts no longer form as clearly cancer. They come, but they don't stay. Instead, something else begins to take their place. Not ideas, not plans, just impressions. A sense of the lake stretching out quietly into the dark. A sense of the fire continuing, even when you're not looking. A sense of the cabin always being here, waiting, not in a lonely way, in a patient way, as if this place has always existed for moments like this. Moments when nothing else needs to happen. And maybe, in some quiet way, it has always been here for you. You don't need to think about that. You can just feel it, lightly. The chair beneath you feels deeper now, more supportive, as if it is gently holding you in place. Not to keep you here, but to let you rest more completely. Your body continues to soften, your breath continues to slow, and the space around you continues to open. The fire, the lake, the night, they all remain steady, unchanging, reliable, and slowly, very slowly, a quiet story begins to take shape, not with words, not clearly, just a feeling, a sense that this cabin is not new, that it has seen many nights like this, many quiet returns, many moments of someone arriving and letting everything go. And now it holds this moment too. You don't need to listen closely. You don't need to follow anything. The story will unfold on its own, softly, in the same way the fire moves, in the same way the water touches the shore, without effort, without direction. You can simply rest and let it come to you. The cabin has been here for a long time, long before this night, long before this moment. It has stood quietly beside the lake through many seasons, through many quiet evenings, just like this one. The wood has settled over time. Each beam, each floorboard, each small detail, shaped slowly by warmth, by weather, by stillness. And the fire has been lit here many times before, not always by the same hands, but always in the same gentle way. A small flame, then a little more, then a steady glow, just like tonight. The chair you're resting in has held others before, not in a crowded way, not in a hurried way, just quietly, one person at a time. Someone once sat here on a night very much like this. They arrived slowly too, carrying the weight of a long day, not speaking it, not explaining it, just carrying it. They sat down in this same place, felt the same warmth, heard the same soft crackle of the fire, and outside, the lake moved, just as it does now. At first, their thoughts were still busy, moving quickly, jumping from one thing to another, trying to hold on to everything. But the cabin did not rush them. The fire did not ask them to change. The lake did not need their attention. So, slowly, without effort, things began to quiet. Their breathing softened, their shoulders dropped, their hands rested, just like yours are resting now. Nothing was forced, nothing was fixed, and after a while, they stopped trying to follow their thoughts, not because they had to, but because it no longer felt necessary. The fire continued, the lake continued, the night continued, and they simply stayed. Time passed, but it did not feel like passing. It felt like something else, something slower, something softer, as if the night was not moving forward, but gently unfolding, and the cabin held that moment for them, the same way it holds this moment for you. There have been many nights like that, different people, different days behind them, different thoughts, different stories, but always the same quiet ending. They arrived, they sat, they softened, and little by little they let go of what they had been carrying. Not all at once, not completely, just enough for the night to take over. The cabin never kept their stories. It never held on to their thoughts. It simply gave them space to set those things down. And when they left, they did not leave everything behind, only the parts that no longer needed to stay. The rest went with them, but lighter. The fire you see now could be the same fire, not the same flame, but the same feeling, the same quiet warmth, the same steady presence. And the lake outside has never changed its rhythm, still touching the shore. Sense of a cost, still pulling away, still returning again, always the same, always enough. And now you are here, in the same chair, in the same quiet space. You don't need to think about those who came before. You don't need to compare, but you can feel it softly. This place knows how to hold a moment like this. It always has, and it is holding this one now, for you. And the cabin continues to hold this moment, quietly, without effort. Nothing inside it needs to change. The fire stays steady, the light stays soft, the air remains warm and still. Outside, the lake continues its gentle rhythm, touching the shore, slipping away, returning again. And as these small, steady things continue, your awareness begins to drift a little further, not away, just softer. The edges of the room feel less important now. The walls, the corners, the space between things, all of it begins to blur gently into one quiet feeling. The cabin is no longer something you look at. It becomes something you rest inside. The fire is no longer something you watch. It becomes warmth surrounding you without needing to be seen. And the lake is no longer something outside. It becomes a quiet rhythm, somewhere within reach, always moving, always calm. You don't need to follow any of this. It can happen on its own. Your body continues to settle, deeper now, more completely. Your arms feel heavier, your hands still, your shoulders fully at rest. Your breathing is softer, slower, each breath arriving like a gentle wave, each breath leaving like it is being carried away. There is no effort left in it. The story of the cabin, the people who came before, begins to fade, not disappearing, just becoming less clear, like something remembered from far away. You don't need to hold on to it. All that remains is the feeling, warmth, stillness, safety, and that feeling is enough. The fire continues, the lake continues, the night continues, but you no longer need to notice each part. Everything blends together now. One quiet space, one steady rhythm, one soft presence. Your thoughts are slower now, farther apart. Sometimes there is a thought, sometimes there is not, and both are okay. You don't need to follow anything. You don't need to return to anything. You can simply remain here, resting. Your body feels heavier, but also lighter, held without effort, as if something beneath you and around you is gently carrying everything. There is nothing to manage, nothing to prepare for, nothing to return to right now, only this quiet, stretching gently in all directions. The lake becomes more distant now, or maybe closer. It doesn't matter. The fire becomes softer, or maybe steadier. It doesn't matter. Everything is exactly as it needs to be, and you are exactly where you need to be. No movement required, no thought required, just this, just resting, a little deeper, a little quieter than before. You're still here, and yet it feels softer now, more distant, more open. The cabin is still around you, but it no longer feels like a place you have to stay inside. It feels wider than that, The fire is still warm, but its light is gentler now, like a quiet glow behind your thoughts. And the lake is still there, but you don't hear each wave clearly anymore, only a soft rhythm, fading in and out. Everything is beginning to blur, not in a confusing way, in a peaceful way, like the edges of things are no longer needed. Your body rests more deeply now, so still, so quiet. Your breath is soft, barely noticeable. It comes and it goes, nothing more. Thoughts no longer form in full, only small pieces, a feeling of warmth, a sense of still water, a quiet glow in the dark. They appear and then they fade. You don't need to follow them. You don't need to remember them. They can drift, like light moving across the surface of the lake, or like the fire, shifting slowly, without direction. Time feels different now, slower, or maybe not moving at all. There is no before, no after, only this soft, quiet moment, stretching gently. The cabin, the fire, the lake, they are no longer separate. They blend together. Warmth, stillness, darkness, soft light, all part of the same quiet space. And you are inside it, not sitting, not watching, just part of it. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to understand. Everything is already simple. Your body is heavy. Your mind is light, floating, resting, drifting. The sound of the lake becomes softer, farther away. The warmth of the fire becomes deeper, closer, and somewhere between those two, you drift. No effort, no direction, just drifting. A thought may appear, but it does not stay. A feeling may pass through, but it does not linger. Everything moves, and then disappears before it becomes anything, and that is enough. You don't need to stay aware. You don't need to listen. You can let go now, even more. Let the quiet carry you. Let the softness hold you. There is nothing to return to, nothing to finish, nothing waiting for you tonight. Only rest, only this gentle drifting, moving slowly into something even quieter. There is nothing left to follow now, no story to hold, no image to keep, only softness. The cabin is still here, but it feels far away now, like something gentle fading into the background. The fire is still warm, but its light is quieter. The lake is still moving, but the sound is distant. Everything continues without needing you, and you can rest. Your body is very still now, heavy, calm, supported. Your breath is soft, so soft, you barely notice it. It comes and goes, that's all. Well, there is no need to stay aware, no need to listen anymore. The quiet is already holding you. Thoughts fade before they form. Feelings soften before they settle. Everything is lighter now. Even the sense of being here begins to drift. Nothing is pulling you back. Nothing is asking you to stay awake. The night continues on its own. The cabin continues on its own. The lake, the fire, the stillness, all of it remains. And you don't need to follow any of it. You can let go just a little more. Let the body rest fully. Let the mind loosen completely. No effort, no control, just drifting downward into quiet, into stillness, into sleep. There is nowhere else you need to be. Still true, even now, especially now, just here and now. Even that can fade. Rest, sleep,